Search for the self is spirituality. And that search, in the process of search, all layers keep on falling. And you reach where you want to reach.
I just have a follow-up question, sorry. It's linked. So I get, thank you very much for your answer. I guess I'm then wondering why in the process of the law of nature, evolution, why we've been given a mind? Why we've been given an ego if it's getting in the way?
See, now this is a question. Remember, we have to take health. You agree there is a matter, there is a mind. Now these, in our philosophy, we say that energy, Prakriti and Purusha. Purush belong to pranic energy or other universal energy. The Prakriti belongs to total material world. Now this belongs to material world. But as soon as the pranic energy touches it, it becomes active. Then future depends upon your karmas. Whatever your karmas will be, the result will be the same. You put the mango seed, you cannot expect the apple tree. There has to be mango tree. So then the theory comes of our karmas, sanskaras, and other things, which is little difficult to understand. But we have very clear concept about these things. But to remove the layer is not an impossible phenomenon. Maybe difficult.
Mine's a question from yesterday really about pranayama, and you were saying when you do retention it can be a problem to open and close your eyes. Should your eyes be closed or should they be open, or does it not matter as long as you don't change?
In Kumbhaka, does it matter if the eyes are open or closed?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But better closed.
Better closed. Okay.
And is it a problem if you're in Kumbhaka and they're opening and closing?
That means mind is active.
Kitty and then Yuha.
Just a question on, you said don't be dependent even on your practices. How could you check whether you have become dependent on your practices?
If you become miserable if you don't practice, that means dependent.
So that means you have to stop sometimes to see.
No, you have not to stop. If they are stopped, you don't be miserable.
It's like, so it's not like coffee. Like you have to leave it for a while so that you're.
I was dependent on chocolate.
So what did you do?
Yeah, but it wasn't good dark chocolate. That was the problem. It was milk chocolate. There's a big difference.
Whatever it was chocolate.
Yeah.
With lots of milk and sugar.
Whether black or white, I don't know. So it was such a problem, not to anybody else. They were always offering. I said, what is this? Where Tiwari you are moving? So in 2000, I was going to Spain by train from France. I decided no more. And then no more, till now.
Never.
No.
I have given him a chunk of dark, very good chocolate. And he said, oh, that's very sattvic, very good. Connoisseurship should change. Right?
No, actually, I was just indicating.
Oh, well, hello to me too. Thank you, sir. Scott, yeah.
So kind of along the same lines. A lot of yoga students seem to come with the attitude of like a patient to a doctor. And some seem to come with the attitude of like a student to a teacher. And both seem, fitting under certain circumstances, but importantly different maybe. I don't know, I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit. Because we've talked a lot about the connection between Hatha Yoga and Ayurveda. So, I don't know.
Are you trying to ask around a neediness in that, or just the nature of the relationship?
Kind of both.
So he's saying, in the student-teacher relation, well, basically it's not even a relationship yet. It's just people come to a yoga class, sometimes with like, oh, you're kind of like a doctor, and I'm coming as a patient, fix me. And just the relationship within that of either expectations and or neediness. And then the other aspect is someone, as happens, I suppose, especially in the guru-style yoga world, coming, I'm a student, you're a teacher. And again, there's a sense of that game exchange with neediness, etc. So he's just interested in your observation or understanding of that, or comment on that interaction that can occur between the
Doctor
students.
and patient, and student and guru.
Well, no, a student is coming like a patient to a doctor,
So I'm pointing to the passivity of some students, which cultivates a dependence, versus other students who maybe are looking to learn something and potentially be attached to their practice, teacher, tradition, etc., but not become dependent on it.
Yeah, so some come with less of a questioning mind, but more of a passive, which leads to a dependence, a sense of need, or fix me, help me, right? Oh Guru, please help me. Oh Doctor, please heal me, please fix me. So just asking about the passivity of the student in that relationship.
No, see, first thing is we should know the difference between attachment and dependence. Attachment is a human nature. No one can be without a attitude or tendency of attachment. Attachment is a phenomena where we have our control. Dependence is a something where we don't have control. We lose ourselves to that. Now, as regards the relationship, a student as a patient to doctor, I think first thing which is needed to doctor is he should maintain still one thing, that I treat, he cures. That is gone. I treat, I cure. That enhances the ego. And the effect of that on relationship also comes. We forget that he is a student. We treat him like a then patient. Thing is absent. That should not be there. One part is how to cure him, not how to treat him. It makes a difference. As a doctor who is money oriented, he will treat. A person who has a human feeling, he will try to cure. So the relationship, just like they say, for Guru is very pure, very, very pure. But if one remains a doctor as a teacher, a perfect phenomena, then the student always feel like a student, even if he goes as a patient. That doesn't go from his mind that I am a student. That is a very healthy relationship. And Guru is little ahead, because about Guru, there is many verses, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva, Maheshwara. But better is in language, in Hindi, one Sanskrit is translated, that Guru Govind do khade. Suppose at the same time your Guru is standing and God is standing. Kake lagu pae, to whom I should salute first? He says, Balihari Guru aapke. I am really very obliged to your Guru, because if you were not there, you would have not introduced that he is a God. Because of you, I know he is a God. So my whole respect first goes to teacher. Now this is a relationship maintained. So this is what, the attitude is very important. And in my opinion, both the relationships are very pure. They can be maintained very nicely depending on the attitude. Whether goal is purely money or goal is also the pure relationship. This is what I understand, maybe wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just wanted to move that. Yeah, there we go.
Just to follow up on the dependence question, because once you find out, gosh, I'm dependent on my practice, I really feel like I have to do it, or I don't feel good during the day. So do you have to withdraw as you did with the chocolate, or how do you manage this dependence so that it becomes normal?
Can be managed by two ways. On mental level, try not to be dependent.
So it's
Or you can do weekly off.
it could be in the attitude also.
Yeah?
Take a week off. No asana for next week.
One day in a week.
But
And see, it does not make you miserable.
Colleen.
Could you, this is for my friend who's too shy to ask, could you tell us a little bit about the pulse taking in the mornings and how that helps you as teachers?
Can you
Or will you?
you talk about it? What would you like to say about maybe Pariksha, about pulse taking in the morning and how it serves the teacher?
After 3 days we will tell you. We prefer not to conclude early.
They wonder why you take the pulse all out.
To see what practices are meant for you. Now, say for example, a person might be having too much gases.
Glasses.
The Surya Bhedan is very good for. So accordingly we design the program looking to your present state of Prakriti.
It's taken over 3 days at least, so that's why it's common for 3 days. See more. Roland then Karen.
Follow-up question to pulse taking. I assume very little person know how to do that. Does it make sense at all to teach pranayama without being able to read the pulse?
So he assumes that very few people could actually read the pulse, especially in terms of pranayama. Yeah. So does it make sense, or is it possible to still teach pranayama without knowing the pulse?
Yes.
But how do you give then to your student the right pranayamas?
No, it is only then observation. Don't go for retention. If you teach it is just like a learning. You can teach. No restriction is there generally, unless person is having some disorder and you are teaching the opposite pranayama, then there may be problem. Otherwise, a normal, healthy person teaching pranayama without retention will not have problem. But you must know that much, that exhalation is double of inhalation.
Why without kumbhak?
Why?
Why without retention?
Why without retention?
Because if you know, in retention you have to be sure that how is his personality. Even otherwise, in 1, 2 you are retaining the breath. Suppose you are inhaling in 2 seconds, you are exhaling in 2 seconds normally, and now you start exhaling in 4 seconds, that means 2 seconds extra air is inside, though you are exhaling. So it is a safety valve open, and that will be harmless, because in pranayama it is a CO2 value, not the oxygen value. So we have to be careful what we are holding inside. The maximum part of it is CO2. That is why we start with double exhalation, so that you become used to that.
Caroline.
That's my question. Exactly the same question I was going to ask.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, following up on that,
Yeah.
so if we have not learned the pulse, although you've been practicing a long time, you should not teach retention, because basically you don't really know what might be the effects.
No, for a teacher, the introductory pulse reading is necessary. But for a longer time, if you devote more time with the teacher, I think
Okay.
It's not easy, Rabbi. I mean, look, because I'm doing this pulse stuff for a while with him, but also, you know, when you can even just assess yourself, you're not looking at pulse, but what is my general feeling? See? Because usually if someone's nicely balanced and asks you, how do you feel? You're like, I feel good, you know? The bowels are working, you've kind of been rested, you know, you have an overall sense of just feeling good, you know, that's probably your immediate answer, I feel good. So you can start to sort of even assess yourself, if, you know, especially if you're just trying to figure out pulse for yourself, your own practice, you know, what is your own general state, inner energy level.
And best is your experience becomes a very good teacher. Well, suppose we see the pulse. So for today, I asked many people, did they have disturbed sleep? Yes. Or I asked someone, do you have constipation? Yes. We come to know slowly many things.
I have both, yes. Yes, doctor.
I'm curious to know how you learn to feel the pulse, because I feel a lot of pulses, but I can't tell what you tell. So
You have to be with the teacher.
He learned from Swami Kavalyananda, most of this. And Kavalyananda then also, well, he knew Ayurveda and that, but, you know, in terms of specifically for pranayama practice, would have known from his teacher, Madhava Das. That's why they're on the wall. The pulse takers. Hall of Fame pulse takers. Right? That's all it is, guys. Yes, Guy.
Who was Madhavadasa's teacher?
He was He was Guru of Madhava Das.
Madhava's Guru was Ramcharan Das. from Bengal.
Do you know anything about him or about his life?
I know nothing about it. I know little about Madhavaji also, whatever my teacher told me. Because his guru in Bengal was there, he did not move out of. But Madhavaji came out of.
Now, if you're wondering, I mean, that's the man up there in the full body one, the shoes. He died when he was 121, which you might doubt, right? But wasn't he a magistrate in Bengal, and then he
resigned.
Yeah. So within the English record system, the British they have those records. And if he died at 120, then if he retired at 60 or whatever it was, he still had 60 years to teach, right?
But he was in touch with his guru.
Yeah. Texting him each day.
He lives, it's unbelievable, but it is a fact because the hill is very close to Lonavala. 7 years he lived only on green chili and buttermilk. Therefore his name was there. Still people, his name was Mirchi Baba. Mirchi means green chili. So people were there, local people were calling him Mirchi Baba.
Green chili Baba.
You can imagine 7 years.
Do you have any idea why he would have chosen to do that?
If I meet him, I'll ask.
What were you thinking? Maybe he didn't sleep well and he was constipated. Green chili is very good.
Even if you go today, where he lived, the maximum farming is done of chili. Still that ashram, in food, they use a lot of chili.
Malsa, yeah? Malsa.
Yes, Malsa. See, there is a day, Guru's day, just like, and in that temple, in his ashram, 10,000 people eat. And still, the same is continued. Once I was there, and it is practically very difficult to swallow the food.
It is.
The guru in the Om Stavana, this is a poem to his guru that your teacher wrote.
Om Stavan. Yeah, so he's asking about the guru in Om Stavan. You're referring to the last verse?
In the last verse
Shivananda
is
Guru.
Guru Shivananda.
Yeah.
Was that the name given or is that another name?
Adopted name. He did not want to mention his name. It is a tradition in India, they think if I mention my name, my ego will go up. So, one Shivananda is a popular name of Swamis.
So not to be confused with the other Shivananda.
No.
Yeah, I mean, who we know popularly in the West, Shivananda Saraswati, lived in Rishikesh and all that.
No.
But there's tons of other guys that were called Shivananda. Even though Kavalyananda was friendly with him, But
he respected Swami very much, Shivananda.
yeah, so whenever Shivananda, and he wrote 340 books or something, but every time he'd write one, which must have been every week, his personal sign, dedicated to Kavalyananda, sent.
First copy he used to send to Swami.
And Tuarji stayed there, met Shivananda. That's Shivananda. But I suppose there's a lot of Shivanandas. stage name. Good. Anything else? Or
We break a little.
there's 2 questions. What do you want? You want to take them? Okay. Siri and
I
Grania.
welcome questions.
Siri and Grania, and then we're yes, Siri.
Could you comment on whether our problems with the mind are manifested in our tensions in the body?
Yeah, mind can do anything.
Yeah.
Negative, I mean.
Yeah.
Not positive. Mind does not know what is positivity.
So if we relax, if we relax, if no tension,
no unnecessary
happens?
tension.
No, if there is no tension, that means good thing, no? That means mind is not interfering.
Okay.
Next question.
Doesn't mean you won't be stiff. Said it doesn't mean you won't be stiff. Two different things.
Yeah.
Just for everybody who feels stiff, don't worry.
Yogic therapy.
Huh?
She should read yogic therapy.
One of the books from Kuvalyananda with Dr. Vinikar, Yogic Therapy, it should be up there in the shop too. You want to get into a little bit, because that's trying to relate, physiology. Middle was written in 1960 or so, but the physiology, anatomy, and the yogic practices and so on. Because Swamiji, that was one of the things he was trying to put forward from the research, was the concept that mind is just not located, brain activity and so on, but there's a concept from the yogic texts of it.
All over body.
So, which you might define on a physiological basis, but so activity of mind and brain fully involved in every part of the body. Yeah. So do asana nicely. It's part of it. Grania, and then we're
You said that in pregnancy you feel a second pulse, and I'm just wondering if the pulse feels the same as the mother's pulse, and if not, how does the pregnancy usually affect the mother's pulse?
So when a lady is pregnant and you're taking the pulse, you'll feel, as she says, a second pulse. So is that different to the mother's pulse, and does it affect the mother's pulse?
No, not different. It is connected with the mother's pulse. It is like origin 1 divided 2.
But feels the same.
Because always child has a basic prakriti from parents. Okay. We break for a while, then again unite.
Back for recitation. Do you want to leave it on for chanting?
Okay.
Up to you for chanting.